owners of football clubs kill the sport? Some fans seem to think so. Here's a recent reminder of what Arsenal fans did outside the Emirates Stadium, asking the club owner, Stan Kroenke, to step down. Wherever you are in the world, whatever football team you support, be part of this discussion. What do fans really want for football? Jump in the comment section and tell us. We get our discussion started with Kevin Rye.
I think if you're going to reconcile the two sides, the corporate, if you like, and the fans and their understanding of the football club, then a lot of it is going to come down to one very simple word, and that's listening. And incorporating what you hear from fans into the decision-making processes in the club. And that doesn't mean that you make a decision, go to the fans and change it when they don't like it. It's that the very decision you make is better because you've listened to the fans and because that's part of every process you have in the club.
We are joined in this conversation by Cecil G, Nick and Magda. I'm going to get them to say hello to you. Cecil G, CJ, welcome to the stream. Tell everybody who you are, what you do.
Hello, so as mentioned there, my name is Cecil G, also known as CJ. I'm a presenter at AFTV and I'm also an ex-professional footballer. And also I run a company called Talent Transfer where I mentor young professional footballers within the Football League.
Nice to have you. Hello, Nick. Good to see you on the stream. Tell our international audience who you are and what you do.
Yes, my name's Nick Hawker. I'm the chairman of Exeter City Supporters Trust, and we're one of only 3 English Football League clubs that are actually owned by the supporters. So we run our club, we own our club, and we run it for the benefit of those supporters and the local community.
Wow, fancy that. Ciao, Magda, come stai? Nice to see you. Tell everybody who you are, what you do, Magda. Hi there, Magda. Can you hear me? Hi, Magda.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Hi. I'm Magda Cosa, and I'm directly involved with the marketing strategy and coordination of Udinese Calcio, and very fond of it.
Great to have you. CJ, I am looking right now at pictures on Twitter. Smoke bombs.
Yep.
MUFC, Glazers out. What is going on? Are we seeing a movement now where fans of these big elite clubs have had enough? And what have they had enough of, CJ?
Yeah, I think what you're seeing there is obviously at Man United, they're playing with Liverpool at the moment, and this already got postponed due to last week's actions. They postponed the game, but they've done another protest. This is where I disagree a little bit. They slashed the team tyres. It was a decoy bus. They slashed the team tyres, tried to block it from entering the ground. But the game's going on. But it's what you just said there. The fans have had enough of the owners taking too much power and control over the clubs and just having no care for the football clubs. A lot of the clubs, for me, in my opinion, belong to the fans. They are there before the owners, before the managers, before the players, and they'll be there long after. And yeah, they just want some of the power back, and the Super League that got announced kind of was the tipping point for many fans, and that's what's led to these protests.
Nick, what division is Exeter in?
So we're in League 2. We're a long distance from Arsenal.
At the moment, Nick.
Yeah. Do you know, it's really interesting because one of the things that the Super League made you think about was this idea of Exeter City can be aspirational at the moment. There is no limit to where we can get to if you work hard, if we improve the teams, and so on and so forth. And what the Super League effectively done is put a cap on that aspiration.
League, so you don't get relegated.
Yeah, you can't.
Nothing happens. You all stay in there and just make a lot of money, perhaps.
So I think you kill the integrity of the game by doing that.
Right.
And I agree with CJ. It's interesting we talk about owners, and you know, but the trust that I'm chair of are owners of Exeter City Football Club. But nobody really owns a football club. Yeah. It belongs in the community, you know. And as you saw from that film footage, there's members of the community, as CJ has said, that's really got fed up with being told what to do and how to think and what they want for their football club. It's time that the owners listened.
Yeah, Nick, I'm jealous of you, bro. I'm jealous. I want to own the club as well. We want that back. We want that. We want to own Arsenal.
Yeah, we just send Arsenal down to Division 2, CJ. You okay with that?
Yeah, I'm like that.
Can't have everything.
We'll come up and meet you at TJ sometime.
Let me just ring in Magda, because Magda has something that none of us have right now. Your family, Magda, owns 2 football clubs, okay? One's Watford, the other one is Udinese in Italy, in Serie A. So that's a big deal. When you see the fans in Europe, and particularly in the UK, getting so mad that they're outside their own clubs protesting, what does that say about football right now?
Well, I think first of all I was very upset, because the project and the way it was created, and I think football is really, it belongs really to the fans and it must be democratic, So I think even if maybe you don't see it directly, in my case, I saw it a big. A great reaction of British government and fans, and it was a big sign for everybody, a great example, I think. So, I was very pleased at the end that the project collapsed so quickly.
Really
and
fast.
Again, football does not belong to an elite, as an ownership, we say. I represent tonight. I think I'm completely against it, football it belongs to everyone, and we have to keep it this way. And I think at the same time, it was a great message. It was almost a disaster in the beginning, but at the end, I think a clear democratic view and a clear fair message came through. So at the end we need to admit it. And I also think, to conclude, that this is just a symptom, that the real problem or the real sickness is that you have to have a sustainable business and a sustainable model. And this is why this is happening, and it's not right.
I want to show you guests some footage of CJ reporting with great passion. Take a look.
I love Arsenal. I don't love the big 6. I love Arsenal Football Club. Let's see what this side is saying. Come on, rest in peace, Paul. Rest in peace, Paul.
Listen, Turkish, thank you. I was on the see you again very soon, but thank you for speaking with us. Guys, Kroenke, get out of our club, yeah? You can see everyone's come together to give you this one message. I could break down, I'm emotional right now.
What do you think of Kroenke? What do you think of Kroenke? Fractures! We ain't Kroenke!
Objective reporting from CJ. Thank you so much, CJ. So obviously you have a take on this, but what is it that you've had enough of? When you're saying that fans have had enough, but what have they had enough of? Put your finger on it, break it down.
I think for me, personally, it's ownership without care, and that is what frustrates me the most. We have owners that haven't cared for this club for a long time. They've just seen it as a business, taking their profits every year, getting a turnover, taking their profits, and it's just, there's no care. They don't want to succeed, especially the Kroenkes. They don't want to succeed. This is their most successful club out of all the clubs they own, and at the moment we're failing. That says it all. All we've got is kind of FA Cups at the moment, but it's for us as fans. We're failing. We're not in. I think we're currently sitting 8th in the league. Probably it's the first time we've been out of Europa League football, the European competition in 25 years. Since I was born, actually, I've always been in the major European championship with supporting Arsenal, but this is the first time we've been out of that. They are toxic. We're rotten from the core at the moment. It all starts with the Kroenkes, the owners, and like I said at the beginning, there's just no care. And yeah, it's painful for a fan. And I've been on both sides. I've been a footballer of it, and I've seen it from a football's perspective, and I've seen it from now heavily being involved with the fans. And like I said, they were there from the beginning, and they'll be there long after. So they deserve the right to have an owner that cares for the club and the sport.
It is so obvious on an international network how many people around the world love the game of football. We spoke to some of them, and they all weighed in. Have a listen, have a look.
the Super League, the proposed Super League that was very quickly destroyed and decimated, was much because of the way that fans reacted with the team owners and with the clubs themselves. They didn't espouse the principles that the fans believed in, and the fans made themselves and made their opinions known.
For me, there are two important things to do. First, they should actually do more on their physical presence. The fans really think they are distant from the club. They don't come to games. They are not really involved. There's no show of passion. And secondly, the financial backings. They should actually release a lot of funds, to attract the right players to the club.
The fans want their club back. The fans want to be heard. What you can do is integrate the fans into the board meetings. Let the fans' voices be heard. That is the way you can bring the two perspectives from the board and the fans together. If not, we are going nowhere.
Loving the Chelsea fan in Lagos. Magda, one of the things that you're doing at Udinese is you are courting international fans. You want to go global. I'm wondering if the fan reaction to the big elite global clubs is scaring you off. How are you going to do it so you don't alienate your fans?
I think it's almost a need for a more club to go internationally, and it's very important for us to have an international and a global audience. It's at the same time it's quite obvious because if you think our team, our club has always been known for a great scouting. So right now we have, for instance, 16 nationalities among our players. And so it's quite obvious that we have to be global,
Yeah, go on, Nick.
I think the problem with the globalization of the game, and I understand that the big clubs aspire to great things, and for that you need finance. But if you look at all three clubs represented here tonight, and you look back at their origins and their history, Arsenal came from an armory, a sort of working man's environment. Udinese, I think, was a sports club, all born around the same time, late 1800s, early 1900s. They were born in the communities, and they're a part of the community, and they remain a part of the community today. And I think a great many owners don't necessarily get the cultural ties that a football club has with that community. And as soon as you detach from that, I think you're losing something really, really valuable. So certainly not saying you shouldn't do it, but don't lose touch with your local community.
Yeah, sorry.
But I think that's the whole point. I think you have to be smart enough to keep your community and to be able to be global. Because right now we cannot just, and your community wants to be global as well and feels proud about that. So this is what we are doing. And if you think about Udinese, we have a great history and a great culture of immigrants all around the world. So it's almost a must for us to be global in a very proper, I would say, and in a very respectful way.
Magda,
So
let me show Nick and CJ. Let me show Nick and CJ how you're going global. This is Udinese. They're courting the fans around the world. Have a look at this video.
Thank you for having me.
Let's have a look at the video, because this is commercialization in action. Let's have a look.
Forte Udinese, só tem dois combates. Ale Udin, Ale Udin, Ale Udin.
Nick's biting his lip. Nick, are you horrified or jealous? I can't tell. Yeah, let's fade this down a little. Let's fade this down a little bit so we can hear Nick. Nick, so that's Udinese going global. Like they're reaching out to the fans around the world. Nick, are you horrified or jealous?
A bit of both, I guess. Look, we reach out. We reach out to different clubs. We're reaching out to a German club where we've got connections with Chattanooga FC. We're reaching out as friends, not as commercial partners. And I think that's really important. That Exeter City aren't going to be able to globalise anything like that. So yeah, do you know what? I'm jealous of that. I'm jealous of what success we could drive. But what you can very easily do is get distracted and just in your head work out what success actually means. Exeter City has no debt. We have no debt, and we compete every year. We compete in our league. We were very unfortunate not to be in the playoffs this year. So
you were robbed, Nick. Exeter was robbed. I blame the ref.
I can't tell you. I can't tell. But it's really important that football clubs focus on their communities and do some good in their communities. And if you can do that and reach out to a global audience, fantastic. I just think that I can go if I go to Rome or Madrid or Barcelona or Munich or Berlin, I can buy a Manchester United shirt in their sports shops.
Nick,
and that doesn't feel right.
Nick, Magda, can I just jump in quickly as well? I just want to quickly say, so Nick, and I speak, like I said, I speak with young professionals in the game today, and it's been a tough time through COVID. I'm sure you're very aware of your club. It might be, I know you said you have no debt there, but it might have been affected financially. And when I speak with young players, they're being released from their contracts, their dreams, because the club can't financially take them on from a scholarship. They can't make them professionals, even though they have the ability to do that. They haven't got the finances for that. Same with Magda. I know you work with Watford. I used to play against Watford, and they were in Category 4. So when I was playing, I was at Crawley Town.
I remember that. I remember those years.
Yeah, exactly. So they were struggling as well and financially. All I want to say is for you two, and Magda, I know you're doing this commercial campaign internationally and globally, but please make sure there's funds and resources that go back into the youth teams, the academies, because a lot of players, like I said, are being released and their dreams are being broken because of financial struggles due to COVID and stuff. So it's all good going internationally doing the commercial stuff, but please look after the youth and bring them through as well. It's very important. That's why I got so infuriated when the Super League was created, because it's the rich keeping their money in their little circle and not filtering it down to the littler teams or the community. So please, I just wanted to make sure I say that before I leave.
Well, I think we are one of the few teams, I would say, that we really keep it local and we really care about community. So we, as I said, our stone and our priority is the community and the local community. And then I think we need as a small medium club to think big in a way, but in a nice and in a nice and very respectful way. And I think this is the way to do it, And it doesn't mean that looking globally means that you forget about your traditions or your community or your past.
Magda, when you're a big rich club, you better still come back on the stream and talk to us. Don't be too important to come talk to little old us. All right. We have lots of comments on YouTube, so I'm going to put some of them to you, guests. People are really intrigued about what is going on in football right now. Neba Jerome says that it's the fans that animate the matches. Football without fans simply means no games. Nick, quick response from you to Neba.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I don't think it matters whether it's 100 people or 100,000 people. Without the fans, the game doesn't exist.
This one I put to you, CJ. WC says on YouTube, in North America, only the super rich own the teams. Thoughts?
I disagree. I don't think the super rich own the. I mean, yes, there might be owners, but it's again. I talk about it where the fans do. They're the majority. They are the majority. I always say power to the people, and we've proven that we have power. We've shut down the super leagues. Chelsea have now brought on fans to be in board meetings. There's talk of government changes in this country because of fans. So I wouldn't say it belongs to them. I think the super rich can help build a team. Yes, correct, but they definitely. They're not the be all and end all. That's what we are. We are the fans. We build the club.
Magda, I've got this one for you. This is Nomadic Observer on YouTube. Nomadic Observer says, whether the fans like it or not, we need the Super League or something like it to give financial control back to the clubs instead of UEFA. Magda, that's a hot seat question. Giving it to Magda. Giving it to Magda.
I thought about that.
That's somebody who owns 2 football clubs. She can handle this. Go on.
Well, but I think, as I said before, I think, I'm completely against Super League. And I think we really should create, a sustainable system in all the clubs, So and this is why it's happening. I say this is the real sickness, that you need to be sustainable and to have a business model who can, go on like we, I would say, have done it. We are a very small club, Udinese, but we have been in Serie A for 27 years.
Wow.
And, and only Lazio, Rome, Milan or Inter have been in the same position.
Yeah.
And you can do it if you are sustainable. And otherwise, it's all about that.
A little bit of humble bragging there. I want to wrap up with a thought here from Aidan Williams. Aidan Williams is a football writer, and he was just playing off this idea of we are post-Super League for now, but forever. Here's Aidan.
The Super League was an ill-thought-out and poorly implemented plan from the start. The clubs involved were utterly oblivious to the impact not only on their own fan base but also on the wider game, and they were willing to throw away the history of their own teams and some grand competitions in the process, all in the name of greed. But this won't be the end of it. They will be back, so the fan power that has been shown here needs to continue to ensure that whatever does come of it is more appropriate. It can't ever be at the expense of sporting merit. Earn your place. Don't just claim it based on greed and a perceived self-proclaimed elite status.
Do you know, we had that question right at the beginning of our show. I'm just going to pull it up here so I can remind everybody how we got here. Will super rich owners kill football was a big question that we asked. I'm just going to ask you very quickly. Magda, will the super rich owners kill football? Quick thoughts, go ahead.
I don't think so. There are teams like ours, which are medium small, they're showing it, every day. So you can be small and you can be a successful model. And we have, and you have to keep fighting on that and to add to football different other concepts, Stadium and be innovative in other academies, and we were suggesting and fan engagement, and try to to build up on this, and not just because of football or super rich owners. It's not about that.
Nick.
Magda's absolutely right. Everything is about sustainability, and just to pick up on what CJ says, at Exeter, we don't have super rich owners. We have supporters who put coins in a collection box and pay £2 a month. But we've got an incredible academy, and we develop young players, and that's our business model. Over the last few years, we've sold Ollie Watkins, who played for England this year and scored. We're so proud of that. We've got Ethan Ampadu that we've developed, currently with Chelsea. We've got other players coming through all the time. That's our model to sustainability, by developing the youngsters and giving them a chance. At Exeter, they get a chance. They get into the first team. In the big clubs that collect players, there must be a lot of players out there who never really get the chance because there are so many.
Yeah. CJ, final thought.
Can I? What?
Magda, you already had your turn. I've got to get to CJ. This is typical.
Sorry,
Club owners, they think they own the entire show. CJ, quickly, finish us up.
Quick one. I think the Super League will be back. They've been trying it since 1998. It will be back. But to answer your question, will the super rich owners kill football? I don't think they will. I just want them to be able to care. At Arsenal, there's word of Daniel Ek from Spotify owner coming in with the consortium of Thierry, Bergkamp and Vieira. Those are people that care about the clubs, and I feel like going forward, as long as the owners care about football and the sport and their clubs, then that looks to be a brighter future. And before I go, this is a lovely spot.
I knew he was going to do something radical. Typical Arsenal fan. CJ, Nick, Magda, thank you so much. YouTube fans of the world who love footy, I'm with you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.